Do kids know what a fax machine is? They're gonna know now. Okay, I finished Bel Canto and it got me thinking, can you love a book and not love the ending? And speaking of this book, it turned me into a little detective this week, which I will tell you all about. And I also went to the library and I got two books, one of them being a classic romantic novel and the other one being a story about aliens, which confirms I am definitely a Gemini. Bel Canto is about a group of people taken hostage during a party in South America. And as they wait for the standoff to basically come to an end, they form a bond and a connection with one another. It's a book about the human connection, the good in people, and finding love in the unexpected situations, and finding love through music and art with unexpected strangers. And it's also a book about cultural differences, but finding similarities in those cultural differences that we as humans naturally want, stuff like love and a little bit of happiness throughout our life. I love books that display the power of language. Books like James, which, yes, in my opinion, is a book about language, and books like Babel, which is one of my favorite books of all time, which you will hear a lot about on this channel, that take language to a whole nother level. And maybe you can tell I speak a little bit of English and claro que sí, también a little bit of Spanish. Well, Spanglish, if I'm being honest. But I watch films in different languages. I listen to music in different languages. I am a fan of languages. I love the dialogue around human reflection in this book. You have these rich people who are always busy, who never have time to stop and think, to reflect on the things that they love, on the people that they love, and to finally tap into their emotions and into their feelings. And yes, I finished this book this morning, but to be honest, I didn't love the ending. And to go back to my original question, can you love a book and not love the ending? I think the answer is yes. And I know this because it's happened with books like Little Women, for example. Great story, great book, but the ending was a little bit, I don't know what I'm doing with that. But I think what I need to do is let that ending sink in, reflect on it maybe in a few days, and see where I stand. Ooh, and yes, the detective thing. So this book tells you that it takes place in South America, but it never tells you exactly what country it takes place in. And honestly, that drove me a bit mental. So I went a little deep. So we know the story takes place in the 90s. That is clue number one. We also know that Saint Rose of Lima is mentioned multiple times across this book. That is clue number two. And I sound like a crazy person. We also know that the soldiers speak Quechua, which is a language spoken all across South America, if I'm being honest, but mainly known in countries like Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and maybe Colombia. But then I found something interesting, which was a story about a group of teenagers who took over the Japanese embassy in Lima, Peru, in 1996. So your boy's gonna go with Peru. Right, before I continue, I have to say thanks to Good Books Lately, who featured me in a recent video with a bunch of other great, amazing booktubers. And I just thought it was so kind and so sweet to mention my new little YouTube channel with very little to offer. And I just wanted to say thank you. That was very sweet. Okay, let me tell you about my library pickups. I got two books. Beautyland is about a girl named Adina who can communicate with aliens via a fax machine. Do kids know what a fax machine is? They're gonna know now. I got it because I like weird books. And with this book, I don't know what genre it is. I don't know if it's going to be literary fiction. Is it going to be more sci-fi, magic realism, all of the above? And to me, that's super interesting. Pride and Prejudice, which of course is about a girl named Elizabeth and her complicated relationship with Mr. Darcy. I don't have to tell you about this book. You know what it is. I love this book. I love Jane Austen. I've actually read this book before, but I wanted Persuasion, which is the only book from Jane Austen I haven't read yet, but they didn't have it. They had this, and I've wanted to reread Pride and Prejudice, so I figured let's do it now. Okay, let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading, which is nothing because I decided to take a break from reading for the next few days. I always want to maintain a simple reading lifestyle. I never want to feel rushed, like I have to get to the next book. I don't want that life. I want a simple reading lifestyle. And so Sometimes I take breaks in between books to catch up with films, watch some TV series, write whatever my flavor is that I want to do or whatever the thing is that I want to do. And so I take little breaks in between. So right now I don't know what I'm going to read, but I do, of course, I am a book nerd. So I have a list of books that I may want to get to next. Gabriel's Moon is about a guy named Gabriel. Shocker. He's a travel writer. And somehow he ends up being sucked into the MI6 life and he becomes a spy. You Are Here is about two people, Michael and Marnie, who are both going through a tough time in life. They both get dragged into a 10-day hike where I'm assuming they're going to fall in love. Sounds fun. Kindred, which is a time travel story about a Black woman named Dana in the 1970s, who all of a sudden disappears and wakes up in 1815. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for the longest time now, so it might be the next one. And Beautyland. I don't know what it is about this book, but there's something calling me to this book. It might be the aliens. They might be calling me to read this book. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. Right. I think that's it for today. I just want to say thank you once again to everyone who has subscribed recently, to everyone who's leaving these incredibly sweet comments. They are making me blush and making me feel happy inside. I just want to hold you. A stranger on the internet wants to hold you to say thanks. Anyways, if you want to see what I've been reading recently, check out my video from last week. You can click right here. I want to wish you a happy reading week. Don't forget to keep things simple and fun and joyful. And I don't want to say goodbye, but I have to. So bye. Love you.